I think you should redirect the energy that you spent. You've brought up so many clips of over the years of things I've said, of debates, of my career. That would be better invested into the power structures and into the main concern. You said the main concern in the West right now is the affordability crisis. If you had invested the time you spent on investigating me into why there's an affordability crisis, that'd be a better use of your platform. I think you should apply that same criticism towards me, towards what's going on in the world.
Well, no, because there's other people who do it, and I trust them to do it, and I'm good with them. I want to focus in on the things that I'm interested in, that I feel like are my purview, and that I have a genuine want for. It's not my responsibility. If, like, let's say tomorrow, okay, there's a housing crisis, okay? A housing crisis is so bad, half the people are homeless. If I don't have a genuine motivation, or if I'm not deeply interested in learning all the facts and learning everything and speak on it, I don't have a responsibility to talk about it. That's akin to you saying everybody should stop talking about everything because Israel's a bigger deal. Is that what you want for the world?
So do you find me more interesting than Israel?
No. I find talking about the way content creators engage with content and their influence and all these things important. One, two, I feel internally motivated by it. Yeah. I feel more interested in talking about
why,
how people engage with facts. Why?
Yeah. Why am I more interesting than Israel?
It's not you specifically. You act like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what's Sneako up to?
But you've invested more time into me than Israel. You've admitted.
Yeah, I've invested more time into learning about people in my sphere more than a lot of political issues. What's wrong with that?
Because that's not the main issue, because that's less important. I have less influence than Israel.
No, it's less important. You think it's a top issue. I would argue that.
So do you. You said the affordability crisis is the main issue, not me.
No. Yeah, but you're saying the affordability crisis is Israel. That's not what I said. That's what you said.
But you said the issue is the affordability crisis, but you've also said you don't know why that is. So you've invested more time into me than what you think is the main issue, which is the affordability crisis. So therefore, you find me more interesting than the main problem in America.
There's two parts. Something could be the top problem, and I could deal with another problem that I think is also important. And you're saying there's something wrong with me dealing with number 4 on the list instead of number 1. Why wouldn't I deal with number 4 if it's more interesting to me?
Because then your priorities are out of whack. The priority should always be number 1, right? Your focus should be on number 1, not number 4 or 6 or 7.
No, you're wrong. I think the priority of our government and the people I elect who actually have the capabilities, their priority should be on that. My job and what I'm going to take an interest in and what I'm going to influence is what I feel, one, capable, one, within my interest field. And that's what I'm putting. Like, it's a very weird thing that you're doing, because you're essentially saying, because I didn't put my focus on the number 1 issue in the world, there's something weird about that.
I'm not saying it's weird. I'm not saying it's weird. I think that your fixation and your priorities could be, well, obviously your priorities are not number 1. You're not even focusing on what you think is the main issue. And I think that's the best use of your platform and your voice. You have a big audience.
I'm focusing on the issue that I could best influence and that I'm most internally motivated by.
Right.
Like, if somebody does, hold on. If somebody does woodworking and that's where their talent is, that's where their skill, but the world needs a lot of engineers, I don't tell the woodworker to stop being a woodworker. Do what you're good at, contribute to society your way. Not everyone has to go into engineering because that's what we need. Find your lane and be you.
I don't think you can, based off of what you described about the world, I don't think you can even fairly make the assertion that it's going to harm without knowing who's in control now. How could you insinuate that this is worse off when you're saying you don't even know who's in control now?
If I'm saying who's in control now,
yeah, how are you saying that this power structure is going to harm if you're also saying that I don't know who's in control and I'm going to vote for people that know better than me? How could you make the assertion that this is bad while not knowing what's going on right now?
I don't know what's going on right now.
You said you don't know why. Okay. You said you don't know why there's.
Sorry, I'm actually trying. Give me a second.
Yeah, you said you don't know why there's an affordability crisis, and you're not going to invest time into doing that. But you've made the assertion that the people I'm aligning with are going to harm. You cannot confidently say that this is going to be harmful while also admitting you don't know why there's an affordability crisis right now. So you can't prove a negative.
Okay, I'm gonna answer a part of this because it's a part I do understand. Okay, I know that if the extreme right or the Groypers get in power, that for minorities and for religious minorities like Muslims, it's a bad thing. They're very open about the fact that they don't like these groups. They don't want them to spread, and they want to maintain their majority. So it is bad, right? You're eliminating people's freedoms, which in a country that should prioritize freedoms, you're already that. So it is inherently going to be bad based off of things that they want as a worldview. So I know that's going to be bad. Yes.
Is that better or worse than the power structure that we have currently?
Is that better or worse than the power structure that we have?
Is a white majority Christian country, like that power structure that you're saying is bad, like Nick Fuentes Corp, is that worse off than the power structure currently?
I think it's very close. I think you can make certainly the argument. I think either way, whether you're going to be advocating for MAGA or the Groyper types, I think you're fucking over your people. Yeah, for sure.
No, not fucking over the people.
I don't think that's a hot take though.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right now, do you agree that Israel is in control of America?
I think Israel influences a lot. Yes.
Okay.
I think it has a lot of influence power. Yeah, sure.
And a white majority Christian, somebody, say it's like, it could be anybody like that prioritizes Christianity, does not want to have Israel involved. Does that create a better, say there was a white Christian leader of America and that doesn't have an allegiance to Israel. Would that be a better country for poor people, Muslims, brown people? Would that create a better environment for those people than what's happening with Israel right now? Or would that be worse?
I feel like this is what I feel like. This is like the question is how I'm interpreting. So you can hit back. I feel like I'm living in like Jim Crow segregation America, and you're like, do you feel like it's better to be with here or the Nazis under them? And it's like, well, I feel like both of these apparatuses are horrible for me as a minority. And if I have an ideal choice, I'm going to try to align myself with people who are going to fight for my rights and for my people.
Which one is more harmful?
I would imagine probably Nazi Germany, yeah.
But okay, instead of this hypothetical, I'm talking about what's happening now. Like,
but no, that is my point, though. I think the Groypers and their worldview is horrible. I think what they advocate for is horrible, and I think what MAGA is doing is horrible. So you got these two groups, and essentially, I'm saying, why don't you go with the third group, which actually benefits your people? Why align yourself with folks who are bad for your folks?
Would you rather live under Zionist control, or would you rather live in an America First control?
Oh, for sure. Like, I 100%. I would not support Nick Fuentes over whatever we got right now. No,
it's not my question.
But it is, because when you said no, it actually is.
It doesn't have to be Nick. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be Nick. I'm not even saying. I'm saying, would you rather live with Zionism?
I'm talking about Nick and the Groypers. Yes, I would not.
Okay, but that's not my question. Would you rather live
Boss,
with?
You already said that we. No. But you already said that we live under Zionist control. Is that not true? That's what you've been telling me this whole time, that Israel controls the country.
I don't know if you.
So we live under the Zionist control.
I don't know if you've agreed with that. I'm simplifying the question as best I can. Would you rather live with Zionist control or without Zionist control?
Without.
Okay.
Hold on.
Then we agree.
I want to live without. Hold on. I want to live without foreign influence as much as possible when it comes to how politics operate in my country. That's the answer. Okay. So whether it's Zionist, whether it's some other group, I don't want nobody.
But now you're kind of obfuscating. What's the majority of foreign influence in America?
If you want to say it's Zionist, I don't mind. I agree.
I'm not asking. I'm asking what is it? Like, what do you think it is? So where's the majority of foreign influence coming from?
I imagine it's going to be probably, at least for the U.S., probably AIPAC and Israel.
Okay. And so that's causing the affordability crisis.
Why are you acting like I'm afraid to say it? I'm not afraid to say it.
I'm not acting like you're afraid to say it. But I'm trying to point out why you I think you're getting distracted by some of the racist rhetoric. You point out Jim Crow, and that's preventing you from seeing the bigger picture. Like, overall, this stuff is very minor compared to the bigger issue. And again, I have disagreements with white Christians, but those disagreements are so minor compared to what's really happening and what's causing all the problems in our country. And that's what I'm focused on getting rid of, what I want to change.
I just think that right now, under the Zionist control that you claim, you have more freedoms than you would have if you were under a completely right-wing authoritarian, or the folks who want to just focus on making sure that whiteness is the major priority.
But you said yourself,
I think
their main issue is not freedom. You said your main issue was affordability. You said the main problem is affordability. That's the main concern happening in America.
Okay.
So I'm following your logic.
Concern, no. Concern means that this is the issue that we have right now. But it's only number one because our other needs are met for the most part. If your political friends got their way, we would have new number one priorities. Because I personally don't really going to think about housing as much or affordability if I'm going to be jailed for whatever reason, or if I'm going to be denied certain opportunities in terms of work because they want to make sure white folks are in power. So no, that's going to change the priorities, obviously. Yeah, I'm glad that these people don't have power. Because if they had power, it'd be worse off for all of us, including the Muslims and Haitians. Yeah.
Okay, but freedom is at number 4, right? And affordability is number 1?
Sure, yeah, right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you agree that number 1 is the most important?
Yes, because
okay,
then
we agree.
No, hold on, we don't. Okay, again, these words matter. When you say what's the priority, priority doesn't mean it's more important. I don't think affordability
priority does mean most important.
No. Listen. Just listen. When I say it's the priority, you're not prioritizing something because it's more important. You're prioritizing something sometimes because it's more pressing. More pressing means that it's an issue. So, example, Sneako, is having a house or ability to pay for things important?
Yes.
Okay, is it more important than having human rights?
Human rights is a broad term. What do you mean specifically?
So let's say you lived underneath a government where you had no human rights. They could jail you anytime they want. They could kill you, and you're not a human, so that's it.
So, okay. The question is, what's more important, owning a home or having government infiltration?
No, I'm asking a simple question. What's more important in life? Having house or affordability or human rights?
Well, I don't think the two things are mutually exclusive, because you wouldn't have human rights if you weren't able to buy a home. Like, I think there's an overlap there. These two things aren't separate.
If you lived in a country where you had no human rights, okay, but affordability was a problem, what would be your priority?
Where there's human rights and owning a home? But that question doesn't make sense.
Listen to the question.